You know the accident up there?
Yeah.
Someone got hurt.
They did?
A lady. She broke her neck.
Oh my God, but you can see her?
Yes.
Where is she?
Standing next to my window.
Baby, what are you shaking? Cole, what's wrong?
Did you ever talk to your mom about how things are?
I don't tell her things.
Why not?
Because she doesn't look at me like everybody else, and I don't want her to. I don't want her to know.
Know what?
I see dead people walking around like regular people.
I don't see anything. Are you sure they're there?
Sometimes you feel it inside, like you're falling down real fast. You ever feel the prickly things on the back of your neck?
Yes.
That's them. They get mad. It gets cold.
How often do you see them?
All the time. They're everywhere. They want me to do things for them.
I think that they know that you're one of these very rare people who can see them. So you need to help them.
What if they don't want help?
I don't think that's the way it works.
How do you know for sure?
Is anyone there?
Please make them leave.
I'm working on it.
Welcome to the latest episode of the B Movie Club. I'm your host, Kevin. This week we'll be discussing the 1999 horror thriller classic, The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis, Haley Joel Osment, Toni Collette. It's really an all-star cast. For those of you joining us for the first time, each week on the B Movie Club, I discuss certain guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the past. You can go ahead and go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club. Give us the big thumbs up. Also go to our page on YouTube, at KD9575. Hit subscribe. It's totally free. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The B Movie Club. You do all that, you get the latest updates whenever I post a video, whenever I find an interesting article that might pertain to movies in some way. I pass it on to you guys, okay? Don't forget to spread the word, friends, family, coworkers, anybody you meet on the street, okay? The more, the merrier. The Sixth Sense. In this movie, Malcolm Crowe is a famous child psychologist. He's worked with, children with various emotional issues. At the beginning of the film, he just received an award from the mayor of Philadelphia for his continuing achievements. And a disgruntled former patient rolls in there while Bruce Willis, Malcolm Crowe, is about to romance his wife. He gets shot. Smash cut to Malcolm Crowe's walking the street. And he sees another little boy who may be having issues as well. It's like on his appointment. And evidently the boy is having issues. Okay? There's scratches appearing. He's not able to relate to kids his own age. Being bullied, all sorts of stuff, weird stuff, draws weird pictures, scary pictures. So Bruce Willis is like, you know what? I had a big issue with my former patient. He was irritated. I wasn't able to help him. So maybe now I can help you. Maybe I can redeem myself for that failure, But Malcolm Crowe, his marriage is on the rocks. His wife seems distant. They're not able to connect as they used to. They're moving in different directions. It's very sad. So he's like, well, I've got that issue, but I need to help this young boy. Okay, this is, little Haley Joel Osment walking down the street. And he comes and talks to him. He doesn't want to share. Doesn't want to talk to Malcolm Crowe about his issues. Over the course of the movie, we discover that this kid can see dead people. Evidently, there are people all around us all the time who are dead, and most of them don't realize they're dead. They think they're still alive. And in some way, they can interact with the world in kind of undefined ways. And when they're angry or emotionally charged, it gets really cold, it gets chilly. Ooh, what's that? You guys feel that? So he's a young kid, and he's just being ravaged by, like, all the time, like, seeing these ghosts walking around. Malcolm Crowe isn't sure what to make of all this stuff. He's like, what's going on? This is kind of a wacky, maybe this kid is nuts. What's the story? But he starts to see parallels with this kid's issues and with the former disgruntled patient. So there's things going on there. I don't want to spoil everything. Eventually I will spoil some things, but I don't want to do it just this second. This movie, written and directed, like the crowning achievement, the first big thing that M. Night Shyamalan did, he sold the script to Disney for $3 million and the promise that he would be able to direct it, this unknown filmmaker. Bruce Willis was attached to this movie, and actually the role of Malcolm Crowe was written specifically for Bruce Willis. He only agreed to do this because he had a 2-picture commitment to this company, because he was supposed to star in a different movie, and he had issues with the director, and he fired the director, and that resulted in the movie getting tossed aside. So he said, okay, I'll do this one. The script and the idea for the script came from a show from the early 90s, like a kid's show called Are You Afraid of the Dark? And in this story, there's a person who's walking around and notices people are not interacting with him. He's having issues. People are ignoring him. And spoiler alert, at the end of this episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, we realized, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, the movie came out 16 years ago. If you missed it, I don't know what to say to you. That the main character in this show was dead the whole time, was a ghost. And that's kind of what happens in The Sixth Sense, if you catch my drift. By kind of, I mean exactly what happened. Bruce Willis in this movie helps out Haley Joel Osment, and then, so now he realizes that he's supposed to help the ghosts. They have unfinished business. And really that's what Haley Joel was doing with Bruce Willis, because Bruce Willis had unfinished business because he was dead. He was shot in the opening scene, and we were kind of led to believe that he'd recovered from his injuries. But no, he was dead as well. So the reason why he was having marital issues is that he was dead the whole time. That's why his wife was ignoring him, because she couldn't see him, and blah, blah, blah. So interesting stuff. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler alert. I remember watching this, and I didn't know anything. It's like one of those things like The Crying Game, where it's just like, it's a secret, don't tell anybody. And it impressed me. They're evidently in the famous scene where Haley Joel looks up and goes, I see dead people. The camera zooms in on Bruce Willis's face, like his reaction, and that was kind of a tip-off. I'm seeing dead people right now. I'm looking at you, big guy. You're a dead person. So, but they were concerned that would kind of tip it off, but then they said, whatevs. Sounds good to me. So, Haley Joel, you might remember him. Previously, he had played young Forrest in Forrest Gump, like a few years prior. He's like this prodigy at the time, where he's like a young kid who's able to read the scripts, memorize his lines, and emote effectively. So when he got this role, he got it for a few reasons. Number one, obviously, he was excellent at it. But also, they said they were impressed that he walked in, he was wearing like a tie to his audition. And when he spoke to M. Night Shyamalan, Night's like, hey, have you read the script yet? And he said, yeah, I read it 3 times last night. And he's like, oh, you read your part 3 times last night? He said, no, I read the script 3 times last night. So, well beyond his years, so he cast him. Now, Haley Joel hasn't been doing a whole lot since then. Although, if you watch the new Entourage movie, evidently he has a big part in that. So all you Haley Joel Osment fans, check it out. This movie was nominated for a bunch of awards, including Best Picture. It's one of only 4 horror movies, which is kind of what it is, to be nominated for Best Picture. Haley Joel was nominated Best Supporting Actor. It had nominations up the wazoo. Toni Collette, who plays little Haley Joel Osment's, I keep calling him Haley Joel because for the life of me as I'm sitting here, I can't remember his name. I can't remember the character's name, so it's going to be Haley Joel from here on out. Toni Collette plays the mother, and she said she didn't even know it was a horror movie because it was kind of like, there's a lot of like poignant scenes with her and her son. She's not in any scenes where there's like a ghost chasing her or anything, so she just felt it was kind of like a mother-son kind of thing, or at least that's what her roles kind of told her. And it really does have a lot of those moments. I mean, there are definitely scary moments in this. And there are moments that were chosen as like the 50 scariest moments by Bravo, that sort of thing. Really scary moments. And, you know, there are moments where you're kind of like, oh, you know, that's kind of tugging the heartstrings a little bit. But overall, this movie is fantastic. Did so well that for like M. Night Shyamalan's next several movies, they would like let you know, from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan. Even when he started to do like Lady in the Water and The Last Airbender and The Happening, where the movies got horrible, they still were like, from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan, to the point where it became kind of a negative thing. Hey, this is also from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan, so think twice before purchasing a ticket. One of his things, as anybody knows who's seen any of his movies, every one of his movies has a bizarro twist about, you know, 3/4 of the way through the movie, or, you know, 7/10 of the way. You know, oh, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Problem is, oftentimes, the twist kind of kills the movie. You're like, what? That's the twist? I remember watching The Village in particular, which was supposed to be like kind of this period piece, and there's a monster in the woods, and oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And the twist was, there wasn't really a monster in the woods, just some dude. The village elders would wear a costume, and, you know, it wasn't really a period piece. It was actually modern day. It was all a trick. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen The Village. It was like the commercial made it look, oh man, that looks terrifying. And then you see the movie and you're like, what? There's a lot of that going on, so what are you going to do? He did Unbreakable, which I thought was pretty good. Signs, which was pretty good. And then from there, it was like, ooh, off the cliff. Now they didn't even say, from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan anymore, so beware. You really have to make sure that you're watching M. Night Shyamalan. You have to read the credits before you agree to buy the ticket, evidently. So there you go. Regardless, this movie has an 85% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. Again, very scary moments. Overall, the mood and the atmosphere, and even the twist, I thought was great. I highly recommend it. It is still streaming instantly on Netflix, so rush out and see it if you have not done so already. Next week, I'm moving away from this kind of horror, suspense, thriller deal into the straight-up comedy stylings of The Blues Brothers, the original hit with Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, and a cast of thousands, millions of people, also streaming instantly on Netflix. So send me any favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, or questions, and I may talk about it on the show, maybe. Don't forget to send any movie suggestions. I still have people pass me in the hall, hey, have you done this movie yet? And I'm like, hey, I'm adding it to my list, okay? I usually like to wait till it comes on Netflix, so it's streaming and people don't have to like, you know, go to the swap meet to find an old copy. They can just watch it streaming, so that's what I try to do anyway. So there you have it. As you know, I end every episode with a totally out of context quote, and here it is. I see dead people. That was pretty obvious. There's another scene where Bruce Willis goes, keep walking, cheese, boop. I decided not to use that one for obvious reasons. This is a family show, okay? We're not doing it like that. So there you have it. Remember, go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club. Give us a thumbs up. Our page on YouTube. Subscribe. It's totally free. And follow me on Twitter at The B Movie Club. Next week, The Blues Brothers. Thank you for joining us, and be well.